So, ladies and gentlemen, I have Tico. He watched all the interviews prior to coming here, and even though I think you came the first one that I saw downstairs at the Brick.
Yes.
So now you have experience. You've seen how it's done, so you get all the best pieces. So let me introduce you. So Tico Campo, right?
Yes.
He's a designer. I'm gonna show you his pants are pretty awesome, and boots. Like he does also stuff like me, glow in the dark, fluorescent. He's a filmmaker, painter, philosopher, and something that musician,
psychonaut.
Yes, that's the word that I try to avoid, but it's okay. It's out. Okay. And as you can see, I'm moving because my son is here with me. Daycare, we decided to skip today. So I apologize for the maybe some interruption. So when we talk boring adult stuff, maybe you can watch him playing with me. Take it away. What's your story?
Hello, I'm Mistico Campo. How's that? Is that better? I'm Mistico Campo. I was born in Cuba. Grew up in Times Square, Hell's Kitchen. Went to Catholic school in Hell's Kitchen. I am a self-taught, multi-discipline artist. I'm a visionary shamanic artist. I am a musician, as Alex has mentioned, and I'm a guitarist for the band Brooklyn Bones, and we perform all original psychedelic soul rock. And then I also am a live performance painter. So I painted a lot of events and clubs around the city and throughout the world, basically. I painted in South America, in Europe, at Burning Man, and all sorts of different clubs. And so Alex was kind enough to invite me here on his program, and I appreciate it.
Do you think all these things come together and they help you? Like when you're doing so many, artist is an artist. Like I'm a creator, right? Mm-hmm. So I set up like as a YouTuber, a light and sound and the camera and settings. So I'm in front of the camera, I'm behind the camera. So like you also have so many like way of expressing your art. Like, do you think it helps you like a variety, like from music to the fashion?
Well, it does, because think about it. We're multidimensional beings. We have many different sides to who we are on this planet. So all the arts are parallel. And so whatever way we could express ourselves honestly and in the best capacity, why not? You know, we're here for whatever time we're meant to be here on Earth. And it's important for us to express ourselves in whatever creative output we may be able to.
Okay. What is the key in being a musician? Like, how do you get your following? How do you like follow your fan base as a musician?
For me, the key is to be a humble vessel to the source, not to worry about trends, but to be a servant to the music and to the creative source ultimately. When we're pure and true to our source and ourselves, then the followers will come, the people that respect the music or the art or whatever form of creativity we output will be attracted to that, because we're not following trends. You know, the thing is that so much garbage is forced upon the public through the mainstream media, and a lot of it may have some impact for the present, but does it have long-term impact? You know, I want to create music that has long-term impact, that has that could be as valid 10, 20 years from now than it is at present. Same thing with art. You know, so it's really about being true to yourself and following your instinct and trusting that instinct.
As a fellow designer and who is also does the glow-in-the-dark stuff, how do you maintain the glow-in-the-dark? Why glow-in-the-dark? Like me, like I know why I like glow-in-the-dark. It's not the best reason, but it's mine. What about you?
What's your reason?
Well, I was for me, I'm a fisherman. And I fish, and my first thing I did relevant to fashion, I was fishing, produce some fishing products.
Okay.
And to sell it, I figured out if I take a beautiful girls with like big boobs and they will be jumping on the beach, and I'll take some nice pictures of them. I'll make a calendar, give away the calendar with the girls, and people look at the girls and they buy my product.
Oh, wow.
It happened, but also people started buying the calendar, and obviously the girls were not naked; they were in the swimwear, and I used Victoria's Secret swimwear. Guess what? Once I became more famous and sell more, I get sued by Victoria's Secret. I using their garment.
Really?
So I had to figure out like how to make my own clothing. So as a fisherman, I use those glow-in-the-dark beads like to fish underwater. So I light them with light, and then the fish catch.
Oh, wow.
So I start putting those glow-in-the-dark beads on the swimwear, and that's how my collection started. And then the girls like who go dancers like strippers, they start buying it because they could be seen better versus their competition at the bar. So and then I start putting glow in the dark beads on dresses, wedding stuff, shoes, like carriers for kids and stuff. So it's kind of became glow in the dark stuff for me. I purchased in large quantity those beads, so I had them whatever products I was able to buy in China, like in large quantities, very cheap, like 50 cents on the dollar or something. And most of my ladies that do the sewing those beads are disabled, so like they have some maybe one hand or one leg or something, so they can't have any other work. But they work for me doing those pieces because I started doing the like full sets in China, and guess what? They would do, let's say, 1,000, 10,000 for me, and they would make 20,000 for themselves. The same line. So I built the Amazon listing, I built the like eBay listing, built it up, and they would sell it under my umbrella. So I figured out I'm gonna break down the system. So the basic stuff made in China, in Russia, in Ukraine, but the final assembly like put together is here in Brooklyn, New York. So that way they cannot sell exact same thing. And it's for me, I'm mostly in the modify arena. So it's not really a fashion design because what I do, I just look the best wedding dress, the best clothing that sells. Almost done. Mwah. He's getting impatient, so we might take a break and do another piece. But basically, that's my modify arena. I would take, let's say, a really close look to like Victoria's Secret or like really fancy brand made by generic company, a little different cut. Once I cover them with beads, it's a modify, it's different. So and I can sell it for a fraction of a cost. So if I buy a swimwear for like 50 cents, the microphone, 50 cents a piece, then and it cost me $8 to put it, and I sell swimwear for like $50, $20. I still make quite a bit of profit.
Wonderful.
On the scale, of course.
Yeah, I mean, as far as what I do is because a lot of the events I paint at are all blacklight events, and so there's only a small handful of blacklight artists that are creating visionary art and fine art, let's say. And so I paint at music and art festivals and all sorts of different clubs, and I've always loved the idea of doing something a little different than what other artists are doing. And so I got attracted to working with fluorescence.
I'll hold it for you.
With fluorescence and phosphorescent. So I do like a blend of fluorescent and phosphorescent with my my apparel.
Cool, but answer my question. How do you maintain? Because my like the paint is goes away. Do you use the like a cold water? Like how do you sustain the over time?
Well, I've worn these pants at Burning Man, and by the end of the week they were fully dusted. But then when you turn them inside out and dry clean them, it's like leather, right? It creates almost like a leathery type of feel. And so, therefore, they maintain pretty well when I work with acrylics, and then you glaze it as well.
Do you want to do a plug-in for you, like
yes,
so people can look you up?
So my band is Brooklyn Bones, spelled Bonez. So you can look us up at Brooklyn Bones on Instagram, and my website is Mystico MYZTICO. Campo, CAMPO.com. Same thing with Instagram, Mystico Campo. Thank you, Alex, for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
My pleasure. We're here at Studio A, and this studio actually I can plug in up to 26 mics, so we can record band here. Like you see those big cameras there.
Yeah,
And
we'd
the
love to
stuff
do a
like-
green.
So maybe like
green
plenty
screen
of
shoot.
lights, and there is a green screen, and there are some other like studios with the
I'd
green
love to, yeah,
screen.
we'll discuss that
I'll
further.
we'll take a look at the studios around, so I'll show you what else is available. Thank you guys. Look at his work. So it's pretty interesting.
Thank you.
Yay! We got an audience response.